The stage is set for a spectacular grand finale to end the 2024-2025 season in the Premier Soccer League. It is the Nedbank Cup final featuring the nation's biggest sides. It's Kaizer Chiefs versus Orlando Pirates. So, well, hello there and welcome to this special preview of this special Nedbank Cup final. Why special Nedbank Cup final? Because it's a rarity lately that you find Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates in a cup final. In fact, it's been almost 2 decades since these two great sides met in a cup final. What we're going to be doing here is rolling the clock back to the last 5 meetings between the two sides, dating back to 1988 when they faced each other in what was then known as the Bob Save Super Bowl. It was the Buccaneers that walked away there with bragging rights and the shiny trophy. So they had to wait a long time before they were to meet again. Almost 18 years was the next time they were going to meet in a cup final. And they met in the cup final there of the Absa Cup, as it was then known as Chiefs. That was the first opportunity they got in 2006 to get some measure of revenge against their bitter rivals. It was a game that went down to the wire. And then again, the wait continued for a final featuring these two sides. It came in 2014 when they met in the Telkom knockout in 2006. I beg your pardon, 2006. Telkom knockout final was a meeting where Kaizer Chiefs were in rampant form and they ran away with it there. A brace from Umapaloba, Stembiso Ngobo, and a spectacular strike as well from Spiwe Shabalala, sealing the deal that night in Durban. Of course, they are back in Durban this time around. Then again, it was a long wait for another meeting between the sides in a cup final, and that had to come in the MTN 8. That was in 2011. Those were the years of Orlando Pirates. The years of the double treble. They were irresistible in those years. 2011, they met in the final, and it was the Buccaneers that emerged triumphant in that particular final. Chiefs would get their revenge, though, as they would meet in another final in the same competition a few years later. At least the wait wasn't as long. Spectacular strike to win a game. I think a goal worthy of winning any match. Opa Mangisa from distance. Look at that. What a strike that was. So then, what was it? They had to wait another 3 years to meet again in the MTN 8 final. This time, it was Kaizer Chiefs that had the last laugh and gained sweet revenge. So, there you go. Plenty of wonderful action to look back on. As you have a look at that goal then, that was in that 2011 or 2014 final. Can you believe that was to be the last time Kaizer Chiefs were to win a trophy? And they've now given themselves an opportunity at putting that right. Tefu Mashamaite, the hero there, with the game's only goal. All right, so let us confirm then those finals for you over the years. As I said, we'll go back. There have been many meetings between these two great sides in cup finals over the years, but we will be focusing on those 5 on your screen, taking you back to 1988. And joining me for this trip down memory lane, 2 legends of these clubs from Kaizer Chiefs, Tefu Mashamaite and Daine Klate was the other gentleman, of course, that was involved heavily in those contests. Orlando Pirates legend, Daine Klate. Gentlemen, welcome. Good to have you with us. Good to see you chaps looking so great. Clearly still training twice a day.
Good day, Chichi.
Yeah? Good to have you. And by the way, I just need folks to see how loyal this man has stayed to Amakos. Check out the shoes. Check out the shoes. I gotta pick those shoes up. Yeah. Always true to look at that. Black and gold all the way.
Dress for the occasion.
Good to have you with you, man. How are you doing?
Oh, all good, TT, all good.
Yeah?
All good. Not training anymore.
Not training well.
Good
It's
genes.
not natural. Good
genes, yeah.
You chose your parents well. It's all about choosing your parents well. Clearly, Masha, you did the same thing.
Yeah, same.
Gentlemen, let's talk about, before we get into the flashback, just give me your impressions of what you guys have seen of your two clubs this season.
Well, from my side, not really happy. It's been, a roller coaster kind of a season. Winning some games convincingly and just losing that form. But I think this is a perfect opportunity for Chiefs to just, bring something, a joy, to the fans and to give them a hope for next season.
And if you look back over the last 3 seasons, Daine, it's been contrasting fortunes. I mean, famine versus feast. I mean, Pirates have been feasting since Jose Rivero has been in charge.
Yeah, it's been good to see. They've gotten closer to Sundowns. Not there yet, but definitely over the past 2 seasons, I would say, they've really improved a lot. And they've tried to compete with Sundowns. Sundowns has gone so far out of everybody. And I think it's important for Chiefs and Pirates, obviously, to start getting closer. Pirates is getting closer, and hopefully Chiefs not too far away. In the near future can also be able to compete, and it will make the league exciting again.
All right, awesome stuff. Right, let's get into it then. Our flashback of Cup finals featuring these two giants of South African football. Let's start at the 2011 final of the MTN 8 final, a match that Daine was to be involved in at FNB Stadium. Remember back then when we used to have Cup finals at the FNB Stadium. So this was MTN 8 final. Daine, any memories of that? I believe you came off the bench on this one.
Yeah, I was injured, I think, leading up to the final. I had a couple of weeks out. So, of course, I wasn't match fit. But I think coming in, I think it's last 15 minutes or so, and obviously the game going into extra time. But other than that, I think, it was good to be on the pitch again after, I think it was a month out.
Yeah.
But winning it was fantastic for us.
Absolutely. And for you, Masha, what is your recollections of the game?
This was my first season at Chiefs after I joined them from Vets. So I set out this game. I was sitting on the bench, just getting the feel and the vibe of being part of the Soweto derby. So it really helped me, with the confidence building up to, later editions.
This was, and I don't know, Daine, as we see you getting ready to come on there, what stands out for you about this particular squad, the double-triple squad? What made this team as strong as it was then?
Look, I think the players, the type of players that there was, the character that was in the team, the personalities was in the team as well. So we had a good young striker there, Bongani Ndlula coming through the ranks, and doing particularly well. We had Jarlin Oupa coming out, into the midfield and making that the midfield position their own. Again, I think the amount of characters, Monique Josephs at the back, Sia Sangweni, I mean, Lucky Lakwati, Epijele, Roy Mahmutsa, I mean, the list is endless, and the amount of talent that was there was really, really good. But the brotherhood and togetherness was what made it special.
Well, I tell you what, wherever Bongani Ndlula is watching the replay of this, he'll be thinking, how was that ever a foul? Masha, you're a centre back, you're a defender. No way that was a foul.
I know you have to be strong. I always say if it was in the EPL, that would have been given. But in South Africa, you just have to feel the striker and then you fall and then they give the foul. Sometimes you survive, sometimes you don't survive.
This one had to go all the way, and it took this spectacular strike to win it.
Yeah, look, obviously that ball was the worst ball, Jabulani.
Yeah.
That ball moved like nobody's business. I felt a bit sorry for Kune after the final, but obviously I'll take the win in that regard, but...
You're right, because during the World Cup, the teams complained about the ball.
Yeah, that ball moves all over the place, and if you look at Kune will even show you there that he made an error in terms of his technique. Instead of pushing the ball, he tried to scoop it away. And that ball always moves away at the last minute. So again, I think fantastic strike from Oupa. If you don't buy the ticket, you won't win the lotto.
Absolutely. It's a painful way to lose a game in extra time with a goal like that.
Yeah, that was a long night. Went all the way to extra time, and your first final, obviously, you kind of like expecting to win and get that first medal for a big team like Chiefs, but it wasn't to be.
2011 that was, then when the sides met in that final. By the way, in case you're wondering what had happened in that bobsleigh final of 88, well, that was also one that needed a dramatic late winner. And as we're going to be moving on now to the next final in which these two sides were to meet again, it was the same competition, MTN 8 2014. This time, I think, Masha, you had the last laugh.
Definitely. And just to give you a little background,
Yes.
the previous season, we played against Daine's Pirates. Daine scored a free kick at FNB first leg, and then we went to Orlando, and we played 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1, yeah.
Parker scored scores the first goal,
Right.
and then Daniel Bennett decided to give them a penalty. But
It's for the goal. It's for the goal disallowed.
For the
rulers.
goal.
Yeah.
But you know, coming to this one, we had just came off a season where we gave up a lead in the league against Sundowns, if you remember. And you know, we just told ourselves that like we are just gonna go all out, and like we started the MTN 8 like a house on fire because we never considered a goal in this tournament. So with me being the captain on the day of the final, being named the captain on the day, and just scoring that winner is one of my most, treasured memories.
You speak about how you hadn't conceded a goal in this tournament, but this was a feature of this particular. Great tracking back there, Daine Klate.
Yeah, that's just part of my game. If you don't play well, there's three things you have to do as a player. My job as a player is three things. Either I score, I assist, and I help in defense. That was my three. So when I come off the field, I need to tick two boxes.
Right.
Yeah.
Got you. All right. Now, as I say, this Chiefs side was defensively very strong, but as we saw, that it was bringing Kuzwayo in goal, not into Cool.
No, definitely. And in the build-up to the final, it was all Pirates. They had, the favorites tag because Shaba was out, Itu was out, and I think Parker was out.
Yeah.
And like that just gave other guys an opportunity, to raise their hands. And Brilliant did well in this game to just like make all those saves. Yeah.
Well, that was the goal there. We were talking off air about that goal and how it almost seems to happen in slow motion. Just give me your thoughts. Great delivery from in fact, that was
Malulek.
Kingston Ngata there trying but it came off the shin there. But yeah, if you look back at that goal, it seemed to happen almost in slow motion.
Yeah, I mean, like we had been like planning on Pirates, and the plan from the coach was that when they move to defense, when on set pieces they don't move in straight line. So if you check, Kingston Carter goes in first and then Daine follows him. So that gave me an opportunity also to just like focus on the ball, and I just attacked it. But another thing was that like Senzo knew me because he knows that I was good aerially. And, I kind of like fooled him because normally from that angle, you will go across. So I just headed it down, and then the pitch was a bit greasy, and then it just slided off slowly, like you were saying.
In fact, it almost looked like you almost missed the header because the contact was minimum on the ball.
Definitely, because I knew that like if I make a full contact, then it goes to, a different direction. And Senzo was very good, in terms of anticipating those.
You seem very annoyed.
Yeah, I think everybody had to go with their man. The defender is the wrong side. He was ahead of Lucky.
Yeah.
So any defender should be goal side.
Yeah.
So I was annoyed because I was goal side with Kingston. Everybody else is supposed to be goal side. And nobody was. And like you said, Kingston probably made the run first, and I obviously manipulated the offside line, which is fine. Fair enough. I put my hand up and I'll say, okay, maybe I should have stayed. But if I stayed and Kingston gets the ball, and then what?
You get blamed.
So I think for me, if I analyze that situation, there is that everybody should be with everybody, and we know how dangerous they were in that period when it came to set pieces with Stuart Baxter. The defense was absolutely resolute as well. So
you don't do this zonal thing.
No, zonal is not for me. Mixed marking, we can do a little bit mixed marking. Left 2 or 3 guys in a zone. But for the rest, you need to go with your man.
Can't really say that was zonal marking. It was just bad marking.
Yeah, I think it was just. I think it was a lack of concentration over there. Like it's a critical phase, and Coach Stuart Baxter is a master of critical phases.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was it. They were early goal. And as you said, one of the features of that Chiefs squad was how strong guys were defensively. You scored in the first half and you were able to hold out and take the win.
Throughout the season, that was our strong point. Like whenever we got a goal, like it was very difficult to come back, to score against us. And that was one of the, the strongest points that made us to be champions.
Oh, so there you go then. Sweet revenge it was for Kaizer Chiefs making up for the loss in 2011. But would you believe that that would be the last time that Kaizer Chiefs would lift the trophy? Well, that's until now where they have an opportunity. And when we come back, we'll now be looking and focusing on the 2025 Nedbank Cup final. Welcome back to this Soweto Derby flashback. It's the Cup Final editions. We've been reflecting on the rare meetings between these two sides, particularly in the PSL era in Cup Finals. Well, before the break, we were reminiscing. It's time for the here and now. Let's take you back then to see to the road to the final. Let's start with Kaizer Chiefs.
When you play against team from lower division, always it's difficult for our players to prepare the game mentally.
This is going to fall out for Modi. Modi has the opener. Modi, and he's got number 2. Now, ball inside. Miguel has scored. It's stolen away there by Michael. Now, Chivamino.
The team is progress. Still, we have a lot of work. But we are so happy about our player.
Very Froster's ball in. Oh! It's brilliant. Mori's gone down here. There we go. Let's focus. Give Kaizer Chiefs on 2-0 up.
It's going to be a very tough game, and we hope that after 90 or something minutes that we're going to give joy to our fans today.
So I think it's one of the best games for this season. Is the semi-final Nedbank Cup. He will be between one of the two best teams in South Africa.
Matlock gets the cross in. Chiefs have scored. Chiefs have scored with 2 minutes to go. Final whistle from Mr. Bambiso. Kaizer Chiefs will play against Orlando Pirates in the Cup final.
Well, there you go then. That was how Chiefs have made it to the big one, to the final. Some very interesting matches along the way. Bit of controversy in some. That Staley's game comes to mind. And then, of course, a winner over Sundowns, no less, in the semi-final. Let's just reflect on what the Chiefs' performance leading up to the final. Maybe let's start with the performances, starting at the back from the goalkeepers. It's been a very difficult position for Chiefs this season. Basically used all 3 keepers. But just let's talk through the defensive unit then, what you've made of it.
No, definitely a lot of inconsistencies. And, at the back, like with goalkeeper, with defense, you can't be, chopping and changing because it just disrupts the whole structure. But at the end of the day, we have to be grateful that we got this far and make use of any opportunity that we're going to get getting into the final.
One thing that hasn't been a challenge for, I mean, to some extent, Chiefs have, in fact, it has not been a big problem for Chiefs at all, is attack. Chiefs have been amongst the teams that have created most chances, taken the most shots on goal. So from that point of view, that has been, if you want to take positives from this season, that has certainly been one.
No, most definitely. And, I can, recall some of the games where you feel like, the defense or goalkeeper has let, the team down. You look at the game against Eros, where Ignacio makes a mistake in the first half.
Yeah.
The second half, also Dove makes a mistake. The game against Marumo Gallants with Fuma. So it has just been like individual basic mistakes that have been costing the team. And going back to the comparison of our team, like we were talking, our defense was resolute. We made sure that we shut the door at the back. And that's able to give, confidence to the attackers to say we can do our job, knowing that at the back everything is sorted.
Daine, Klate, what have you made of what the chef has been cooking this season?
No, very good. The only negative part was the last 10 minutes of the Champions League semi-final. So I think other than that, I think Pirates have had a fantastic season.
Wrong chef. I'm talking about the other chef.
Oh, sorry. sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I think, it takes a lot of time, a lot of patience. But look, I think like in anything, it's a big club, obviously. There's this Nedbank Cup for them, of course, is going to be a stepping stone for them. If they win it, then it argues well for the confidence of the players, because not winning a trophy for so long for such a big institution, a big club as Chiefs, of course, knocks the confidence of the players a bit. So it's almost like getting the monkey off the back. But I think from my analysis from the outside, I think it was always going to be a difficult job. For the new coach to come in and change things around and change the club and get the club back to winning ways.
Okay.
But other than that, I think the patience must be there.
Patience is not something that coaches often get from demanding supporters. But let's have a look at these elements, Masha, if I bring you in here. The attack that we've spoken of. The standout player in the Nedbank Cup for Kaizer Chiefs has been Pule Modi. From an attack point of view, he's been the top scorer. Again, he's another one who's been, I guess, sums up Kaizer Chiefs' season this season, because he's also been inconsistent. He's had some great chances. He should have a whole lot more goals than he scored.
Definitely. And, sometimes when that happens, then it frustrates the coach, because he probably is dealing with these things at training. And, it's just a matter of confidence. When you go for so long without winning anything, and, the pressure sometimes just gets to get to you. But I feel like that's where, senior players have to step in, because it cannot just be Modi and Shabalala carrying the team. They are youngsters. They need leaders who are going to guide them and make sure that when there's pressure, they take that pressure off them.
It's an interesting point that you make about youngsters, because you find on the other side, on the Pirates side, where the younger players have actually stood up and have been the star players for them. They've really delivered, the younger players.
Yeah, it's also important to look at the past 3 years of Pirates, winning trophies as well. So these youngsters coming into an environment where winning has become a culture. The MTN8 has been there, they won the MTN8, they won the Nedbank Cup. So of course, it's a little bit easier I won't say easier, but I said, like Tefu said, confidence. They're coming into a team that is used to winning trophies, and they then get incorporated in very, very well, and they take things upon themselves. I've been very, very impressed with the younger ones, the centre back that has come in, the two wingers that has been there. So I think, all in all, for Pirates, it's the transition of getting the youngsters from the DADC into the first team has been a smooth transition.
Kaizer Chiefs, of course, have a fair sprinkling of their own players that have come through the Diski challenge. Therefore, one such player is young Wandile Tuba, a young player who really has got who's got bags of confidence.
Yeah, I like his arrogance. He's someone who doesn't shy away from saying that, I'm gonna do this. And I was very impressed with what he did against Sundowns in the semi-final, because I feel like he brought us back into the game. And, you know, if we bring that kind of like attitude on Saturday, then, you know, it will be justifiable to say, like, I belong to this team and gain confidence going forward.
It's about big game players. I mean, it's a cup final. I mean, it doesn't get bigger than this one. All right, so that's Kaizer Chiefs road to the final. What about Orlando Pirates? A less straightforward passage, if there ever is a straightforward passage to the final. Let's take a look at how they made it to this stage.
It's been so tough for us to play Richards Bay recently.
You know, he can make magic happen from anywhere. Oh, so can he! Oh, it's so clever from Mufokeng, and it's a second! Getting the better of Hotto. Immediately takes a strike, follow-up from Putuma. Flag stays down. The free kick quickly. Mabasa!
Everybody think that you won already, you know, before the game starts, but it's not the truth. From Hotto now, surely a chance here. Easy tap away. Now Dlamini, Masanganye. Oh, that's beautifully done. My word. Chance for the hat-trick. 3 for Mabasa. One more knockout for us. Happy to be in the last 8 and yeah, to the next. Football is a game of mistakes. We are not perfect.
But it's still on the front foot. What a finish! What a finish! Oh my goodness, of all people! Oh, mistake here, and there could be a chance here for the goal. Chukwamanja manages to squeeze it in. Sets up the comeback. Great feet here. Oh, what a goal! Running sudden death, then the keeper makes a save. He didn't get a hold of it. Oh, and it's beautifully struck, and it dropped down. Goodman Masale.
We need our best one if we want to be in the final, no doubt. It's a semi-final. I'm sure they come in today with the ambition to beat us here at home and be the one in the final. We won the same award.
He finishes it off. What a beautiful team goal from Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates are through to a third successive Nedbank Cup showpiece, an opportunity to defend their crown. It's the 6th domestic final that Jose Ribeiro has led the Buccaneers to.
Wow, what an achievement by Orlando Pirates. Whatever happens in the final, what Jose Ribeiro has achieved here is quite remarkable. Daine Klate has never lost a match in the Nedbank Cup and has now set up a chance at making history for the three-peat.
Yeah, look, I think it's his farewell match. So I think the players obviously would want to send him off with a cup, you know, bother the couple of league games that's still left. Obviously, ending second is going to be after Sundowns. Sundowns is wrapping up the league in the next game or two. But interestingly enough, watching Pirates against Arrows, it was Pirates' 52nd match of the season.
Yeah.
You know, compared to Arrows, they played against their 36th match, and that's what elite players do. You know, that's what elite teams do. They compete on all fronts, they compete in all the competitions, and they go as far as they can.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose that puts its own demands on both the coach and the squad in terms of how you manage that squad. I mean, competing on the continent, as you will know well, is not easy when you consider the travel involved, and then having to come back and then play league matches and that sort of thing. It is quite demanding.
Yeah, it's never easy, but I think that's what we signed up for as professionals. You know, you're away from home all the time. You come back, you go to Cape Town, you're traveling to Egypt, you come back from Egypt, you're traveling to Durban. You know, you're hardly ever at home during the season, but the sacrifices is all worth it in the end because success follows. And you know, nothing happier than to see, I think Tefu will know as well, nothing happier to see the supporters of your team that you are playing for go home in a happy mood and ready to go to work on a Monday because they've won.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. All right, let's take a look at Pirates. And in terms of the players that have stood out and the way the team has performed. I mean, starting at the back, I think Sipho Chain, who's had a very good season, but remarkably in the Nedbank Cup, only just one clean sheet.
Yeah, I think he's really held his own in the number 1 position. I actually had him at Chippa when I was the coach at Chippa United. I think there was the goalkeeper that was there. Chippa was a little bit ahead of him, but I'm happy to see him. You know, that's how the game goes. You know, the one season you are doing well, the next season you're not doing well, and then you pick up again. You know, and it goes like that. But it's good to see the consistency that he has shown. You know, I've always known that he was a quality goalkeeper, so it's good to see him doing well in the sticks, and probably he'll have a big say on the weekend in the final.
What have you made of the Pirates' defense? They've had to do a lot of chopping and changing because of injuries in terms of the centre-back pairing. They haven't been able to call on the experienced Klate and Sibisi for most of the season because Kloki's been injured. And then you've had this remarkable youngster, Begazeli Mbogazi, standing up and showing great versatility and incredible maturity for one so young.
I mean, there's a lot of depth in that Pirates defense. Just when you think Olisa Nda is out, then there's a youngster who came before Mbogazi now. There was a youngster,
Sesani, yes.
Quality player, and then Sesani's out. Then there's a revelation in Mbogazi, very, very matured for his age. CVC, seasoned international player. You've got Koki, the captain. You still have Maela as well, so there's a lot of depth, and just the way they've been like working together and like finding combinations, not forgetting the right back from Stellenbosch. He's a quality player as well. So they have a quality defense.
Quality defense has also been matched by an attack that has been, when at their fluid best, there's very few to stay with them. And one of the key players, very much over the last season, well, since he's joined Orlando Pirates, has been one of the talisman of the side, has been Tito Maswanganyi, Patrick Maswanganyi. In this Nedbank Cup, has been particularly important for them. 5 goal contributions. They seems to his form maybe tailing off a little bit towards the tail end of the season. Of course, there's been injuries as well in there. But what have you made of his performances?
I think he's got a football brain. You know, he moves around the field. He makes Pirates stick on his day. He can be devastating. You know, like I said, you know, game 52, Summer's going to lose form. That's where the depth comes in. You know, that's where you got to protect a player like that. But he knows for sure. You know, he's got a fantastic mentality towards the game. And I think, you know, on his day, you know, if injury free, if he doesn't have any niggles, I think he's a player that is difficult to play against.
Yeah. And in the striking department, the coach has had 2 different players, you know, to call upon in terms of Maropa or Tsirofatso Mabasa. Yes. They are very different players, devastating in their own ways. Correct. And he seems to have preferred Maropa mostly though.
Contrasting, at the beginning of the season it was Mabasa, of course, and the last season Mabasa obviously scored a lot of goals, but like you're saying, contrasting players, and it depends on what the game needs. You know, Maropa's been extra mobile as well, holding the ball up and getting his teammates into the team. He has both players have box presence, but Maropa in the build-up, you know, is a bit more effective than Mabasa. Mabasa put him in the box. He came in against Arrows in box, goal. You know, so if you want goals, Mabasa. If you want the team to gel and to connect, Maropa. You know, so it's a fantastic. I think it's a good thing for the coach to have 2 contrasting players because the game needs a variation at different stages.
And Maropa's big thing, I think for me, Tefu, as well, from a defensive point of view, is that he's actually the first line of defense because he triggers that press and he really puts pressure on defenders and keepers.
He brings in that quality that we used to have with Kingston during Baxter's era. You know, being able to connect, you know, with all the lines when you are defending. But also his qualities, being able to hold up the ball and, you know, just wait for support. Because under pressure, that kind of like helps a lot. You saw that when they were playing in the CAF, you know, they were playing in intimidating situations, and he just came out, you know, held up the ball with his experience and then waited for the youngsters to join him. So that quality is very essential.
All right, there you go. So that's how these two teams made it to this final and set up this massive occasion. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll now get into it and have a look at how these two coaches, they will now play the role of coach and tell us their starting 11. And of course, we'll also get from them their predictions. Welcome back to the Soweto Derby Flashback, the Cup edition. Talking Cup finals between these two great sides, but of course the big one being the Nedbank Cup final at the Moses Mapita Stadium. Now, gentlemen here, Tefu Mashamaite and Daine Klate are going to put on their coaching hats, and they have put together their starting lineups for the big final. Let's start with what will be the home team on the day. Kaizer Chiefs, Tefu Mashamaite's selection here. I wonder to what extent this team picks itself. Tefu, tell me about what you were thinking. Your thinking in terms of how you would want to approach the game when you selected this 11.
No, definitely an all-round attacking-minded team with Vuma, Solomons, Miguel, and Simango at the back. Also Dove. And then Yusuf Mart kind of creating the balance defensively in the middle. And then you got Wandile Duba and Lilepo wide. And then Ngobo and Kele. Kele can add in with defending and attacking at the same time and allowing Ngobo to be creative. And why not throw Ashley Dupree in there? Because, we've been having issues with the striking department. So the confidence that he gained, when he scored against Sundowns can come in handy. So that was my thinking.
Big call there, going for Mshini, ahead of Gaston Serino. How much of that was influenced by the performances of all these players in the derby, the premiership?
It's obviously there's so many inconsistencies with the chopping and changing. You don't have especially in the middle, you don't have one player who's consistently starting and building up, the confidence. So I feel with Ngobo, the creative side, if he brings it out on the day, it can be beneficial. And you can always rest him because sometimes he struggles with the fitness and bring in some fresh blood.
No room for Pule Modi?
I mean,
man who's the top scorer in the competition
as a coach, I had to,
you had to be ruthless.
I had to make a decision, so.
And who would you be looking at to make an impact off the bench?
You can bring in Potsani, you can bring in Matou, you can bring in Morris, you can bring in Shabalala, depending on, the dynamic of the game. So I feel all those players, they bring in different, elements that you can introduce into the game.
Coach Daine, when you look at that lineup, are you quaking in your boots?
I think, if I look at the lineup, like Tefu was saying, and it bothers me as well, is the chopping and changing and the inconsistency of certain players. Serino, for him to think twice about that, and then for Modi as well to think twice about that. It tells you a lot about the team and where the team is at the moment. Where on the other side is contrasting. It's very contrasting. There's a lot of competition there, and there's a lot of good performances there, and a lot of consistency from a starting lineup per se. So there's been 15, 16 players, Orlando Pirates, that have been playing over this past month or 2 months, that have been consistent. And the problem that Chiefs have is that hasn't happened for them.
Yeah. I look at that side and I'm thinking, where are the big game players there, Coach Masha? You've left out Serino completely.
It's about the confidence of the team on the day. if you bring the Chiefs that played against Sundowns, it's a different animal compared to the Chiefs that played against Marumo Gallants. You know, at the end of the day, you can say, why didn't you play Sirino? But like against Marumo Gallants, you know, Sirino is just, you know, I don't want to say average, but like he doesn't really like give you what you are expecting of him. So there hasn't been really an out and out, you know, game winner, the one who can, you know, take the bull by its horn and say, I'm gonna own, you know, this match.
Yeah, I guess it's a cliche, but it's also true that ultimately, when it comes to these type of games, it's about who wants it most. You know, form tends to go out the window, as well as we like to say as well with the derby. That said, let's go to Coach Daine and have a look at what he has done. Was your task a lot easier?
I think
more hard or more difficult?
I
given
think
the
my task
competition
is.
that
I
you-
think my task is easier because
Yeah.
this is what happens with Pirates.
Yeah.
You know, this is how they line up. That's how the bench more or less looks. You know, maybe 2 or 3 changes or 1 or 2, but for the most part, I think that has been the consistent team. You know, the midfielders has really done well. There's big competition in the midfield. You got Posele on the bench, you got Shandu on the bench. You know, and then you got Lamini on the bench as well. And then you have the 3 that's starting. You got Mbata, you got Makaula, and you got Tito. You know, so I think there's like for like there. You know, if 60, 70 minutes, if you feel like, you know, but the game is going to be won in midfield in any case. You know, so the stronger midfield, which I believe that Pirates has been having a strong midfield, and that's where they win most of their matches. You know.
Yeah, interesting. You start with Maswanganye because I have not been convinced about him coming off the bench, I must say.
Yeah, no, definitely not. But I think starting him, you know, that brings the fans into the game, number one. You know, if he does one Shibobo and then everything just, the whole atmosphere just lifts up. You know, but a lot of match winners as well for Pirates in contrast to Chiefs. Kim Fuedo, I watched him against Arrows. I think he was fantastic. He was a live wire. Obviously coming back from injury. So I think maybe he can be a trump card off the bench as well. So all in all, I think, you know, Pirates has a very well balanced squad. And it argues well for them going into this final.
Your thoughts, Coach Masha? Are you shaking in your yellow boots?
I mean, like quality. Over the past 3 years, you know, the coach has been able to build, you know, such a formidable team. Every position balanced, you know, quality, scoring. You can, like Daine said, you can, you know, bring in Lamini. He'll give you something on the day. You can bring in Mawasa. He'll give you quality. But at the end of the day, you know, it's just about the guards. It's going to be a dogfight.
All right, you guys, you know what's coming next. You know what's coming next. You've seen your lineups. Now I need to get your predictions. In fact, the youngster has shown you the way. We're talking about Wandile Duba. He has made the bold declaration that the Nedbank Cup is theirs. He says it's theirs.
I just want to mention this factor. Tomorrow is the 9th of May.
Okay.
It was on the 9th of May, 2015, the last time that Chiefs lifted a trophy. And so tomorrow, it's going to be 3,650 days, equivalent to 10 years, since Chiefs won a trophy. So we are looking at a cosmic shift on the 10th of May. So I believe that like the cosmos will be with us. And we just need to go out there and just grind because we are playing against such a quality team. But I feel like the heavens are, you know, pointing, you know, this in our favor, in our direction.
What are the heavens telling you about the score?
I want to go for 1-0 and /2-1. It's just going to be a tight game, but it's going to be separated by one goal.
That's the Professor Masha there with his looking at the stars. What are you looking at, Dave? Have you thrown the bones?
No, I think he's right. Yeah, only divine intervention can make Chiefs win. Obviously, of course.
Oh,
That
shots
was a good
fired.
one.
So he's
Shots fired.
explained the divine intervention and how
it's
it
gonna
could
work.
possibly happen. But yeah, but this is football, you know. It can go either way. But I would love a 3-2 type of game where Pirates wins 3-2 and, you know, ebb and flow, a little bit ebb and flow, a goal here, goal there, goal here, goal there. It just adds adds it to the cup final, and I would love an exciting final. Chiefs would love a boring final 1-0, of course. You know, that would be the dividing
Even the
dimension. Under the circumstances as well. I would agree
we'll
with
take
you.
anything.
You know,
it's been a week of such fantastic entertainment on the field. Why not a 4-3 like we saw in the UEFA Champions League in midweek? I mean, that would be the ultimate. It's been so long since these two sides faced each other in the final. Why not give us a real treat? I made reference to the youngster, Wandile Tuba. Backs himself. Check this out.
khona umusho akazuma uthi nyothi ngasho ngishilo last week uthi netbank siyayithatha so manje sibuyele training so khase next game so ibona mase kuzi final futhi. Congratulations. Thank you.
You gotta love it. Entertaining. None of that. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough game. Yeah, we respect our opponent. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
This is our trophy. You want to hear that, eh?
Yeah, no, Dube, he's 100% correct, you know. I don't think it's arrogance. I think he's a young boy, he's excited. You know, he has the right to be excited, you know, and he has the right to be confident as well.
But he must just know that if the result doesn't go his way,
he's going to have a backlash. Yeah, you know, he's going to be a meme. He is definitely going to be a meme.
It's unfortunate that, you know, it's the story of the modern day. But you know, if he wins, then like it just goes on to boost his confidence, and like I think that's his personality, you know, and like a big team like Chiefs, you know, need those kind of characters sometimes to say, hey boys, let's go, you know, we're gonna do this, you know, that can just ignite something in the team, and at the end of the day, like it can change the course of, you know, what we've been experiencing going forward.
Absolutely fantastic. Tefu, Mashamaite, Daine, Klate, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for this preview and reminiscing about the good old days. Incredible. I don't know that you would have ever thought it would be 10 years before Chiefs lift the trophy again. Daine, awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, gentlemen.
Thank you, Titi.
There you go. It has been nicely set up for you. Tantalizing. There's so many subplots. Chiefs going for revenge after losing the Premiership derby, looking to break this long drought. It's got it all. It's going to be live on your World of Champions. For myself, TT, Tabiso Tiba. Enjoy the Cup final.
The clash of the titans, 10 million combined and umlaza. Clone comes on the phone wise. David or Goliath, who's the bigger giant? Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, who's bringing on the titles? We got on my garaba, Vuvuzela looking hella. What you rocking, black or yellow? You Orlando Naturella, you want passion, style, joy, and all the drama. 55 large and the crowd, you can holler. Keep going in for the win. No makwala from the streets to the Twitter feeds. Yeah, bazokwala. 90 minutes, put that work in. I say gala. One pass, one shot, one goal. One makes history and the other goes home. Name of the champ gets stamped on the gold. No cap, the arena only favors the ball. And Kusha Dipana, Dikari, Tuba. 10,000 hours to fence on my pooper. Stakes are high in this family feud. Hawks might come home and got food in no room. Man, I swear, y'all don't understand. Can't just be a fan. It gets deep. People losing sleep. Show me to the stands. Can you hear it? Yes, I can. We like Kaizer to him, Lazi. That's the sound of freedom screaming coming from the stands. More than a match, it's a heart in the game. It's where the boys' dreams get a call to the fame. This is Netbank making things happen again. This is Netbank making things happen again. More than a match, it's a heart in the game. It's where the boys' dreams get the part to the fame. This is Netbank making things happen again. This is Netbank making things happen again.